What is up, Media and Popcorn fam? It's Brandon Collins back with another interview from an Africa Roundtable. This one is with Guy Torry, the creator and host of Phat Tuesdays, which was a long-running black-centered stand-up comedy showcase at LA's legendary Comedy Store. Now, as a comedy producer highlighting black and brown voices, I greatly appreciate the legacy of Torry's show, and this Amazon Prime series does a fantastic job of illustrating the Phat Tuesdays journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page so you get alerted about all future reviews and interviews. Special thanks as always to Africa for the opportunity. Now here's my interview with Guy Torry. Hi, Guy. Brandon Collins, the Media and Popcorn Podcast. Now, I'm a New York stand-up comedian and producer. I produced an acclaimed show for 7 years. That's on a monthly cadence, right? So I know how hard that was. What was it like for you doing Phat Tuesdays on a weekly basis and maintaining the high quality for the culture and the industry? Because you wouldn't have gotten to where you are with the show if you didn't do that. So could you speak a little bit about your process of booking and producing the show?
Well, I said in the documentary, but I say it all the time. It was definitely an assignment, a divine assignment, because I was really young at the time. I hadn't done comedy but 3 years. I'd never ran a business before. I just had this seed planted to want to showcase other comedians. And, it was just like, you get in where you fit in. And sometimes being naive is smart. But doing it was, as I went along, you just learn stuff. Being a touring comedian, I've toured comedy clubs all over the country. So what I would do is to steal certain things from them, things that they did that I liked. I'd bring it to Phat Tuesdays and add that to how I ran the room.
Great job. And also the homies in the New York comedy scene said to thank you for all the work you've done, man.
And I was just in this weekend hanging out at the Cellar, and the response from the local comedians, New York comedians, because you all are honest, was like they really enjoyed the doc, and that meant a lot to me because the young ones are saying they were inspired about it, and stuff they didn't know that they're glad we put in. And just New Yorkers are honest, and I'm glad that they gave me the honest feedback. Bumped into Chris Rock last night, and he was who was supposed to be in it, but his press schedule interfered. But he was very congratulatory as well. So it was always fun coming to New York and hanging out on the comedy scene because you guys are the best.
Thank you, man. I just wanted to ask Guy real quick because I told you I'm a New York comedian and I'm also a producer. I got to hear about the biggest bomb you ever saw at Phat Tuesdays. You don't have to say who the comic was, but I got to hear that.
I got two. I got one. Let me tell you one. One, I won't say his name, but I was doing a showcase for Def Comedy Jam, and it was right around the time that Muhammad Ali had lit the torch for the Olympics, and he had Parkinson's, and the comedian was on stage and he was killing. I mean, killing. And then he went to the joke saying how Muhammad Ali. Did you see? Because this was Tuesday. It happened that weekend prior, so it was fresh. And the comedian goes, "Man, did you see Muhammad Ali with the torch?" And he was shaking, and he was like, "Man, I thought it was gonna burn the whole stadium up." When I tell you the crowd shut down on his ass like the Batmobile, and because at the time, Hana Ali, Muhammad's daughter, was one of my hostesses, and she was in the room. And when he said that, I don't know if you've seen the movie Backdraft, but there's a scene in Backdraft when the flames started in the back of the room and they rushed through the front. That's the boo he got. He had a rolling boo. It started in the back of the room and rolled to the front, and they booed the hell out of him. I mean, I think that messed him up for the rest of his career mentally. I've never seen anyone get booed. Well, I have, I won't say their name, but that was probably one of the biggest bombs in Phat Tuesday history. Rodney Perry, I'll say his name only because he tells this story. He bombed so bad one time, and I know he was funny. He just had a bad set. And he came out with this corduroy jacket on with the patches on the sleeve. And this is 90s. And he went on stage. It just wasn't his night. And they booed the hell out of him. And I was like, yo, my man is funny. You got to give him another shot. Y'all wasn't booing him. Y'all was booing that Ben Vereen ass jacket he was wearing. So I said, man, I'm going to go back. I'm going to snatch the jacket off of him. I'm going to bring him back on stage. And I went backstage and said, man, take that ugly ass jacket off. And I reintroduced Rodney Perry, and he came out and killed. He killed for 3 minutes. He knew when to get up the hell off stage, but that was a bomb. And there was one more bomb that comes to mind. It was a Mexican comedian, because I let Brown up too, because they had just as hard a time as we had getting on stage. And it was right when Princess Diana had died in a car accident, and he wasn't a known comedian. And certain comedians can get away with certain things, and he did a joke. I mean, people laugh at it now because he still tells a joke, but it was just a bad timing. It was too soon. I don't believe it too soon, but it was too soon. And he said her name was Lady Di. It should have been, B word, buckle up. And I guess he thought that joke would go over well in a black audience because she was not black. Black people like booed the hell out of him. Like, nah, that's just dark, too dark for us right now. So there are comedians who took risks, and that's what we do. We take risks, and we all don't stick the landing sometimes. And those are three of the ones that really stand out the most.
Thank you.
Medium popcorn, we are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn, woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.